Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It has been such a busy few weeks. Oh my god, there's so much happening right now. First off, as you may know, I'm in a new setup. I have spent the past few weeks moving house, so I'm in a completely different part of the city. I'm more out of the city than what I was before, but it's kind of nice. I got the countryside just outside, but it's not too far that I can't cycle in whenever I need to go into the city. I have been wanting to make another video for you guys for that entire time, but unfortunately I didn't really get the chance to sit down, really think about what I wanted to do, and just go for it, just do it. But I'm super stoked to be sitting here right now talking to you. I hope you're all getting on well. I hope you're all safe and you're keeping healthy. There's a couple of things in particular that have happened this week which I am so pumped about. I've been getting a few more shoots, which is super exciting. I get to go out, snap more photos and work with people, and that's just been incredible. Alongside with moving house and all that, you know, it can be a little bit hectic, so I'm still happy. But then also last week I realized now that it's a funny story. I was going to do some shopping and I went into the city, and without even thinking I completely forgot to bring my mask with me. So I ended up getting to the shop, realizing that I didn't go into the shop because, you know, that I feel that would be inappropriate at this stage. So I left, I went into a park. I tried to find somewhere more secluded where there weren't a lot of people around, so I then had to strip my top off. I was wearing a t-shirt underneath, so I took my jumper off. I took my t-shirt off, put my jumper back on, and then wrapped my t-shirt as a makeshift mask, so then I could finally do my shopping and then get all that stuff done. But so in today's video, let's put that aside. In today's video, I want to talk about giving more power to you guys in your photos, whether you're just a hobbyist or you want to get more serious about it, but you don't want to have to pay for, or you don't want to have to invest a lot of money in programs that help you edit your photos. Now, there's a myriad of different apps in the App Store that help you do a lot of things with photos, and they're great, it's wonderful. But for me in particular, there's always been one, and it was released I think back in 2018, and that's Lightroom. Now I as a photographer, I use Lightroom so often, it's pretty much my daily go-to thing. But if I'm out and I'm busy and I'm not at home and I don't have time to sit down at my laptop, the app that they released allows you to actually make your own edits on your phone, which I think is incredible, which means you can bring an editing setup with you wherever you go, because most people these days do have phones. So Adobe offers the free version of Lightroom in the App Store, which means that you can get a basic understanding of how it works, and I think that is really good because I used it when I started out and I really wanted to get more practice in, but I didn't have that extra time. I decided that I was going to start editing more photos on my phone, and a lot of the posts that I have put on Instagram have just been slowly edited from my phone. And once I got more into it, more of a handle of what I was doing in the app, I then went forward and started paying for further services so that I could get more out of it. So moving on swiftly, I'm just going to be showing you a few quick, easy edits that I can do to get more of a handle on which direction that I want the style of the photo to go, and you can do it yourself as well. And all this practice is really going to help you improve in your editing skills. But again, this is just like a stepping stone for if you want to make your photos pop. There's just that little bit more over on Instagram. So here we go. The first two things that I do when I start editing a photo is I check that horizon to make sure that it's straight, and if it's not, then I just go into the crop tool and I straighten that out. Now, because I'm also going to be posting this to Instagram, I'm then going to also bring that into a 4:5 format, so that fits perfectly into the grid, which also takes up a lot of that screen real estate when I'm posting. The next tab that I'm going to move on then into is the light tab, and that's going to deal with the whole exposure, the contrast, the highlights, the shadows, and everything like that. So I'm just going to go through that, make sure that everything is where I think it should be, and then we're going to move on to the next one, which is the color tab. Here you're going to be able to deal with the temperature, the tint, the vibrance, and the saturation of the photo. And just up to the right there, you can see that there's going to be a mix button. You just click on that and that's going to bring up all the colors that you're going to be able to individually edit. Now for myself and my style, this is where I spend a lot of my time going back and forth between the sliders to make sure that I just get it just right, or at least try to anyway. And this is where I put most of my little touches into the shots and which direction that I want to take it in the whole editing process. First thing that I do when I get into the section is I'm going to just go through all the hues, just see if I can get everything to match up in the way that I want it to be, and maybe move some of those color hues to shift them closer towards others to make sure that it really kind of comes together. They're sort of like puzzle pieces, so once you get them matching, then it really starts to elevate the photo and the style that you really want to go for. Then moving on to the saturations of each individual color, going along all those tabs, moving those sliders. Sometimes I want a little more color, like in this case it's going to be with the oranges, the yellows, the greens and such. And then I don't want any of those magentas or those purple colors, so I'm just going to completely get rid of those, bring that saturation down all the way to the left. And once I have all that done, then I segue into the next part, which is the luminance. I don't do a whole heap of work in the section, but then that helps me bring up some of the colors to really help elevate the vibrance that's in the photo. Next up, just to go back to maybe have a look at the temperature, the tint, the vibrance, and the saturation. Here I wanted to really start making this photo pop, so I brought the vibrance up and then the saturation just up just a little bit extra to bring that extra bit of life to it. Next up, I moved on to the effects panel where I started working with the clarity and the dehaze. This, again, much like when I was using the illuminance and the saturation in the previous panels, it just helps to elevate that photo just a little bit further to make it stand out that little bit more when you're trying to catch people's attention, whether it's on social media or wherever you want to post it afterwards. Once I was happy with how that looked, I then just went a little bit further to try and get that more unique look on it. I moved then into the split toning. Now, split toning I find is incredibly useful because it means you can push colors that aren't there into either the highlights and the shadows. And this again just gives like a really funky, cool look. And that's pretty much all that I did for the photo. And you can see here the before and the after. And the difference is just crazy. So this is why I love using this app. And the features that I used are, like I said, in the free version, so you can do it yourself. You can start practicing, you can start elevating your style, your whole mood, your vibe, whatever it is. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always being here. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're all keeping safe. If you found this useful, definitely let me know down below in the comments or shoot me a message. And if you start using this app, please do tag me in your work because I would love to see it. So that's it for me. Thank you again so much. I'll catch you in the next one.